So, yo, welcome to the Bridge the Gap show, Tammy Tuesdayz. My name is Holden Stephan Roy, and it is my pleasure to have you here. Basically, what we try to do here on this show is to go through your life a little bit, and it basically is that we start as we'll see with the first question, real young, and then we start moving with it. And then if we have to, we don't get through it all. We book a part two. We run through it because you gotta think of it there's not it's hard to Google people here. So like I happen to know a bunch about you in general just because of the virtue of the scene and its connectivity on Facebook, but Googling us is a complicated thing. People do a lot of interesting things here, so we're just trying to showcase that in general. So with that, I think you're a fascinating person. Entertainer is the word I used to describe you because I couldn't limit it with singer. It's bigger than that. I know you from videos. I've seen your music. And even the promos. Like I remember when you drop one of these music videos, your build up to it, the behind the scenes shots, like all of that. It was really on point. It was really really well done. So I've been excited for a minute to have this ever since it was like, yo, we should get Tammy Tuesdayz on here. She gonna be an interesting one. And so for me, I was like super excited for reals. With that, I have a bit of a token first question I like to run through with like all the peoples out there, and it's a bit of a story. On one of the lines, it'll all make sense. And it starts with my girlfriend, and she was washing the dishes, and she was dancing around to that Black Eyed Peas song, that I got a feeling, ooh. And then she was dancing and she's washing the dishes. But it really made me think about music and like vibes and time. Because I can remember how like 10 years ago, we were like all in the clubs, drunk as fuck, dancing to that same very song. And it was a lit experience. That I remember circles and shit for it. And then that same song 10 years later or whatever is now chores and exercise music and shit. And I'm like, okay, that's interesting, which means all those club bangers and stuff that you hear today are the future chores music of the future that little children will grow up listening to and whatnot, which is just a fascinating thought when you really contextualize stuff like cool. Um, but with that, it got me thinking about like music and vibes and times, like I said, but also our own personal musical journeys. Usually people start at like the puberty age when we get our identity and our first favorite songs and stuff. But the truth is, it kind of goes like way earlier with it. Like 5, 3, whatever your earliest memories are. There's that soundtrack that's playing to your life. Whoever's around is listening to it. So in my case, I can remember my dad had these like Led Zeppelins and hard rock tapes, and he would play those tapes through the speakers and had those multi-layered sound systems and whatnot. And my mom had the really shitty disco. I remember it so vividly. Those knockoff tapes that you would buy for $3 that weren't the real songs. And Krista Berg was only ever in Cars, and like just these different things that you can like remember of the music. But later on in life, like my dad like shitty techno, like that 90s mix 96 crap. I love techno today. You know what? It took 20 years, but I got there. And it's like, you become your parents type thing, all of that stuff. So it's like, I was hoping you could walk us through a little bit the soundscape of a young Tammy Tuesdayz and what it was like being very little and what was going on in that part of your life.
Yeah, definitely. You know what? You first off, you have me cracking up, okay? Because it's super facts what you're saying, bro. And it's funny because my dad was a musician, right? He was actually the lead guitarist for the Beatles England tour. So
What?
yeah, my dad was a guitarist. He was also the vocal and musical director for Mary Wells, who was a Motown artist. So music has been a big part of my life, right? Since young. So, a lot of Motown, a lot of oldies, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, you're like,
Wow.
okay, hold up.
I was like, yo, sometimes the answers come in hard, sometimes they come in soft. You just never really know what to expect with this question. It goes everywhere. But that one was like,
Exactly.
my dad toured with the Beatles.
Well, to me, it's like, that was, my dad. So to me, it's just, normal, but, always jam sessions at my house. It's crazy. And, like, it's funny because, my dad passed away, many years ago. And, before he passed away, he was like, the one thing that I do not want you to do is to let my guitars collect dust in a closet, right? And then when I got of age, I contacted Steve's the music store. And I was like, yo, I have like some Gibson 500s, that were on tour with the Beatles. And it's like, I sold them for ridiculous amounts to collectors because I was like, I don't want them to collect dust. And I'm not a guitar person, So I didn't sell all of it. I still have a good amount, but I sold some, because I was like, that was part of his wish. So all that to say, music's been a part of my life.
Big answer, but we got to go deeper still because we talked about your dad, but we didn't really talk about you. So
yeah,
at this
exactly.
age,
So, okay.
What are you?
Okay, so my music.
Yeah, like, were you like involved in music already at like that age? Because sometimes when you have these moments, it's like from that point on, you're already in it.
I'm already in it, and like my dad, because he was a musician first and foremost, I learned piano, I learned violin, I play flute to this day. So music is a big part. And as for musical taste, it's funny. I love those olden Motown type of vibes because I feel like it was fun. It was musical, right? Like you heard the instruments, you know what I'm saying? Okay. So for me, it's always been that. And it's funny because my mom was into like, I guess, soft rock, like sort of, and also rock, like, Led Zeppelin, stuff like that. So I always had those kind of vibes too, So it's funny because to this day, obviously, I'm an R&B singer, gospel, whatever. But at the end of the day, it's like, I love Biff Naked. Like, that's like my go-to person. Yeah. Like, I freaked out when she followed me on Instagram. I was like, what? Biff Naked's following me. Oh my God. I'm like, holy shit. Yeah. So that's my musical, I guess, journey as a young Tammy.
There's still even more questions. I'm pretty thorough with this. Because listen, like, you're here. We could always set this up again in a couple months to keep going through the chapters of your life is how I look at it, especially with the more local people. But you know what I know people want to know? Is when you was little, was you busting dances and stuff? Were you all into that side of life?
It's funny because, no, I was actually a really big introvert. Okay. So, I had no friends. My animals were my friends. We had like a zoo at my house, like mad animals. So just music, animals. I wasn't busting dances, but I've always been singing, to like Whitney Houston and Mariah Carey and the Supremes and, all these crazy things, All
right, so there's one more question, and it's basically like I try to cover the elements, right? So you got the visual.
Yeah.
I mean, you play instruments close enough to production. So all that is left now is the visual side, the graffitis, the hip hop side. Like, did you draw at all? Were you into that side of life?
Nope. I can't even draw stick people, man. Like, that's how bad it is.
I respect it.
But you know what? I like painting. I'm good with painting and shading. Like, that's interesting. So I used to do like abstract, but
I relate to what you just said. Big abstract you could do because
abstract I could do. It's like, you know what I'm saying? So it's interesting because it allows us to, like, you know what I'm saying, sort of put into a painting with colors and shading and emotions, without it being an actual drawing. You have to feel it. Sort of kind of like music. You got to feel music, right? Like, you got to feel it inside of you. You have to, and that's why I love those olden type songs, Not that I'm shitting on the like 2021 music, but it's so superficial. Like, to a certain point, I'm like, I can't deal with this. Like, how are we rapping now or making music about taking drugs? Like, how is that elevating anything?
So I could just respond to it and go, people often say that, and I think they often are referring to Billboard and Pop Spheres. But everything exists, and back in the day, Billboard and Pop Spheres still promoted the same shit. So it's like, I'm sorry,
Short mainstream.
Did you ever hear Short Dick Man? That shit was a banger back in the day. It was a weird ass, terrible, like, everyone would have judged it the same thing, but everybody knows what it is. Maybe not you, but like in general. So like, honestly, some of that pop music back then was still trash and still promoted. They were just not allowed to say Xannies, so they said alcohol, and they weren't allowed. And then they slowly pushed it, but like, I don't know. It's like Illmatic didn't sell like people act like it did. Illmatic was like a classic 10 years later when we look back type thing. So I would argue that a lot of that stuff is there today. It's just buried.
Yeah, you know what? Super facts. What you just said, I have no rebuttal because all I can say is facts. Real talk.
I mean, I heard
Real talk.
I've listened to a lot of music in this city at this point. And I have a playlist that's like 10 hours long. Like you're on it as much as I could find is on it. There's no if you're in the city, you're on it, and English because it's the French has a lot going on for them. You know, it is what it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm like, nah. Every song on this playlist, for the most part, with a few exceptions, has come out in the last year, and they're all dope.
Bless.
They're not all my style per se. They're not everything I want to listen to, but I can tell you one thing: Montreal is not rapping about the vapid shit for the most part. There's actually a really small number of people pursuing the more pop topics that you would think. There's just not a lot of stuff that's political here, so it feels like it's away. But nah, everyone's kind of emo if you were going to go in any real direction with it.
It's true.
And I don't mean that disrespectfully because I'm emo with it and I love emo music. So if we all want to be emotional, that's the city. We got a heart. It's a dope thing. It's not insult. It's like probably more in touch with what the people are than not. Anyway, all I have to say is like, I think Montreal's blessed. I think you're also blessed and you're part of Montreal and that makes it super dope.
Thank you.
But with that, my second question is probably should be my first is, are you from here?
Yeah, it's funny. Born and raised here, Montreal. But because my dad was American, right? He's from North Philly. I did a lot of back and forth. But, you know, born in Montreal, I used to have dual citizenship, which I lost because I'm negligent and I didn't do my paperwork. Didn't do my paperwork on time, you know? So it's like, and now it's fucked. So, but yeah, Montreal.
It's what part of Montreal are you from? We like to track where people are from here in Montreal.
Laval. So I'm not technically from Montreal.
Yo, shout out DJ Bobby Payne. But so we have the Twitch going, so there's people popping in. But yo, Laval is close enough. That's all. Oh, we have his crush on today. DJ Bobby Payne's crush is on today. Woo, very fancy. Boo. We don't normally get comments like that. Is all I'm saying. No, Laval's. I was actually right before you came on. For the fuck of it, I looked up Montreal's population, and then it talks about the Montreal metropolitan area, which Laval is absolutely a part of. So to me, it's Montreal enough. And sometimes I'd say Laval, but let's be real, it's better branding to say Montreal. Just throwing it out there.
That's what I say. That's what I say.
That's mad dopes. That's real cool though. So do you remember like the moment when you first got into music, like as a fan, like the first song you heard that you were like, yo, that's my shit?
Yo, that's a heavy question.
Yeah.
Wow, that I would say that I'm a fan, like, whew. Well, you know, I really enjoyed Backstreet Boys.
Who didn't?
Okay, good. Okay.
Like, yo, the best way it was put to me is if you were studying Backstreet Boys then, you could probably make good pop music today. Because if you were listening to the way they use timing, spaces like that, everybody, and then it slams in, and it's just so fucking like perfect.
It was theatrical. And it was entertaining, right? So yeah, I would say Backstreet Boys was my first, like, you know, where I was like, okay, you know what? I love this. I'm listening to it over and over again. And then, you know, in high school, I got into, you know, Nas, Biggie, Snoop, Little Kim.
Okay, let's talk about that for a second. How did you get into it at a more logistical level? And I think this is where there's young peoples in the world and everybody, sometimes Golden Jenny from Norway pops in. So how did a Tammy Tuesdayz get her teenage music?
Yeah, you know, you want to know what's funny? It's crazy, eh? Like I said before, you know, I was a very big introvert. I had no friends, you know, I stuttered. I have tics. You know, so I was bullied at school. Like, it was crazy. And I went to a predominantly white high school where, you know, this is not what they were listening to. And it's funny because in ninth grade, eh? Imagine in ninth grade, I was being bullied so hard that my cousin had a friend at the school and she was like, yo, take my cousin under your wing because she out here being bullied. She out here this, that, and the next. And they introduced me to the music because they were in 11th grade. So that's how I got introduced. But imagine, before then, it was just like Backstreet Boys. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had no Backstreet Boys, Motown, old, my mom's music. Like I wasn't in the know, let's say,
No, but that's
which
super
is crazy.
interesting stills, right? Because we don't often have it be like that, like, and that's why it's so fascinating to hear people's journeys. Because, like, I know in my case, I went to Uyghurs, so like it was a lot of music right off the
You
jump.
went to Lakers, say
Yeah, I
word.
did.
You
I
went.
was in the last grad class at Uyghur in '05. For real,
Oh
guys.
my god, that's so crazy.
Yeah.
Holy shit, that's dope. That's dope.
I like it when people know what that means, because we've reached a point in time where that sentence doesn't always mean something. And
I
it's
know.
like my girlfriend doesn't really know what that means, so she just looks at me
Okay.
funny when I say it as an example. But yeah, I always like that shit. And then I'll sometimes throw in the Jaeger's boss, and then people give me this look like, you know what that means, and I'm like, I do know what that means, because
Exactly. You're like, yeah, 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 yeah. You know what I'm saying? I'm down. I can speak it.
man, it's like it was a transition to go to Sejep. It was like really weird to like learn how
Yeah.
to switch the dialects as a good way to put it. So now
Yeah.
it's like I gotta remember. It's hard actually to code switch correctly. Is one of the hardest things I'm facing right now. Is to switch it on a dime. Whereas like before,
Yeah.
anyway, that's a whole other topic. But it's a real thing.
Yeah, I know, because I still do it. I still do it. Like me and my friends, we still do the pig Latin thing, So we could be talking regularly, and then we're just gonna, itch way to it, and then just octave like is day, and just be like, yeah, okay, so yeah, blah blah blah, So yeah, it's hard.
Yeah, I followed
But
that.
we,
I kind of speak it like that, but I followed that. I'm like, yeah, no, I remember all of that shit. That's very
yeah,
memorable. Yo, Montreal
yeah,
rappers should do some shit
good
like that.
times, good times.
Nah, for real though. I miss it. I miss it. It was simpler, but like, it's interesting that in your case though, because of that, you were like kind of locked into this vibe of what music you had access to. Like, there was no Columbia houses. Did you have the internet back then?
No, you know what? The internet started when I was like, yeah, in high school, like I guess, I don't know, ninth grade, 10th grade. We started with like the big computers, like, we had an hour a week in the computer room, so it was crazy. But I do remember having Columbia House, where you would buy like the subscription, like you get like, 3 CDs or something like that, like I don't know, per 3 months or something. So we did have that, but it was always my mom's stuff that we would get, obviously. So
That's what happened.
not, yeah, none that had to do with me.
I feel that.
I think we
Okay.
got R. Kelly. I think that was like the dopest thing that we had, R. Kelly. I was like, okay, all right, we could swing that.
I appreciate that. That's cool. That's interesting too, because again, nobody's actually been like, "Yo, we had it," but my mom had it. I'm like, that's a first. That's interesting. In my
Yeah.
case, it was totally like I remember going through it. I remember picking CDs and stuff. So, but then you meet people and they introduce you to like rap or hip hop of a certain era, it seems, and then it
Yep.
brings you into the know of what's going on there. And then when do you like develop some kind of an interest in pursuing music? Is it in high school or does that come like later on down the line?
It came later on down the line because it's crazy, but I graduated high school at 15. So I was
Wait, what?
actually,
Yo,
yeah,
flex on that
yeah,
for a minute.
yeah. I'm like, yeah, yeah. I graduated at 15 because I skipped a grade. So yeah, I graduated mad early. So I was actually at Vanier. I was 15 going on 16. So that's, yeah, I was at Vanier mad young, mad young. And I would say that's really when I got into the music, because it's funny. Like I said, like I'm from Laval. I went to school in Rosemere, which is even more north. You know, it's not that type of vibe out here. You know what I mean? So when I came to Montreal, when I went to CJEP, that's when it was like, okay, like they had like, jam sessions and, all these shows and all these things. And then I was like, hey, I could actually sing. Let me try this. And that's when I sort of, got into it really.
Yeah, that's mad cool. So
Yeah.
like tell us a bit about that. Were you like just doing your own stuff? Was it karaoke's? Was it like what kind of stuff were you up to get started with?
It's funny. It was just, you put a soundtrack on, an instrumental, you sing. But then it's funny because then when I'm, in Montreal, obviously now this is a whole new world for me, right? So I'm like, oh shit, I'm about to let loose. Because now this is the vibes out here. Where I'm from, this is boring. This is like, farmland. Like now I'm in Montreal, Then, you start linking up with people, you start meeting people, and, they're rapping, and then they're like, yo, come do a chorus. Okay, we're going to this show in Park X. Okay, we're going downtown. We're doing this. So like, that's really, it's funny. This is really how I got, into it, and even that's how I met DJ Majest. I forget where. I think it was either at Dawson or Vanier. We had crossed paths, and like, then he was like, yo, I'm a DJ. Okay, go to his house, work on some music. So it was just, I guess it was sort of like a domino effect once I got to Montreal. Because before then it was.
You get into Vanier and already you're getting linked up with people, and via people you're getting invited to go do different things, and you're just kind of saying yes to the opportunities and running through it. That's what I'm understanding so far. So you were already like, how long were you like there before this started happening? Or was it just like off the jump, or did it take a year or two?
I would say off the jump. I would say, because I swear, when I set foot in Montreal, I was like, bitches, I'm home. Move out the way, and then it's like, it's a whole new world. And I was like, wow, I'm able to, and as crazy as it seems, I was like, I'm able to just be myself and be accepted for who I am. Whereas, I had gone through a lot of discrimination at the high school that I was, because of my color, sadly, but it is what it is, especially back then, it was even worse than now. So, I wasn't really able to just be myself, I guess, So once I got to Montreal, then I was like, okay, there's other people that are like me that have the same interests, we can connect. So that was dope. So it just sort of kind of happened. And then I started doing show after show. And then from there, it just sort of never stopped.
So like, who were you performing with back in the day? Like when did you come into it?
It's funny because I did some stuff with Majest. I did some stuff with oh my God, Ricky J back in the days. And then it was mostly after that, it was mostly French people. Like Corporation Click, they were a French rap group, Tactical Crew, Technical Sense, Sans Pression, Joe BG, oh my God, Yvon Crevé, like, and these are all people that are like, hip hop Québécois veterans, So it was really dope because it's like, wow, they're out here really like with CDs in, what was that CD store?
Which one? HMV?
HMV, exactly. Like they got CDs at HMV, and I'm out here, they want me on the track. It's crazy, So it was a lot of fun. And back then, in order to make your, I'm gonna say pedigree, it might not be the right the right word, but in order to, gain your momentum, you actually had to be out there on the field, right? So I was actually out there in all of these clubs. I was actually out there at all of these shows. We had a show on Wednesday, on Thursday, on Friday, on Saturday. So it's like now it's like you could post something on the internet and it just goes viral, and it's like, okay, your name is made. But back then you had to be there. We were at, McGill, the metro station, handing out flyers. So it's like we had to really do the actual groundwork, which is what I feel that we don't do anymore in music. We do it like, virtually on the internet, which is cool. Times change, but it's just that for me, it was like, yo, it's really hands-on. It's crazy.
I totally feel
crazy.
You. I watched the transition happen, so like I totally get what you mean. And like I remember being out in like 2012, and now it's a different model, but I mean, it's a big subject. There's a lot of things that changed between that time and now, and like every part of the scene with related to the bars, to the everything. Like people like it was a lot easier to get people to come to a show, and like the $20 pitchers of rum and coke were at Belmont, and when that went to $32, my ability to get people to go to Belmont regardless of the event changed. Like that has nothing to do with the show. It's just now the selling point disappeared. That was the thing.
No, exactly. No, totally, exactly. Like times have changed. It's completely different. So it's harder. It's definitely harder.
So I think a lot of these youth are going to leverage things like private parties and house parties. It's shit that you're not going to see, but it's still clocking out points. And then all we see is what's on the ground. We don't see the 3-hour freestyles at 2 a.m. at the house party that we're not invited to because I hate to admit it, I'm not hip enough to go to young people parties.
We're not anymore. Cool. We're not invited, yo.
And I swear, that's actually something I'm working on. I'm trying to make like 20-year-old friends and stuff because I'm like, yo, actually, when this shit's done, where are you going to be able to smoke weed? It's going to be at private parties. It's not going to be at bars. And I think that's where a lot of things are going. And That makes a lot more things invite only than it used to be, which makes,
Exactly.
like if you don't have a couple 20-year-olds on deck, good luck is my thoughts in the future.
I know, exactly. That's why I'm happy, my daughter's in that age group. So I'm like, okay, yes, I'm gonna be cool regardless. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be in regardless.
No, that's fresh though. That's a good use for kids. Staying hip via their hipness.
I swear, and it's crazy because I feel like I'm so cool. I feel like I'm so down. Like I'm so, and my daughter's turning 19, and she's like, "Ma, like just no, you're not us cool. Like you alright. You know what I'm saying? You alright, but you're not us cool." And I'm like, wow, I feel like damn. You know what I'm saying? Times have changed because I feel cool as fuck.
I feel it too, but like we're like that side of cool. We're like don't give a fuck cool. They're give a fuck cool. Those are different cools. Like the level of fucks I give is surprisingly low for the self-deprecating role I play on camera. But like, honestly, I
love you.
They care so much about the right things, and I'm like,
yeah,
I gotta remember to brush my hair before going on cam, even if I am wearing a hat. That's like the shit I'm at. Like, remember to brush my hair. Like I'm okay if it's not like that. But then other people point it out, and I'm like, okay, maybe I should. And that's like
I should. Yeah,
that's different. That's not where they're at with it, and I respect it.
I respect it too. It's true. They give fucks cool. We know fucks give cool.
That's it. And I think it's way doper to be on this side of the fence. I don't want to go back to the anxiety.
I agree.
Of worrying about some of that shit.
No, exactly. I totally agree.
But it's why I need them to style. Yo, I want to find somebody that will direct TikToks for me. They'll tell me what to do, and I'll do it. I won't argue. Oh, I got to shake? Oh, shake. You just tell me what it is, and then you edit it. I'm not good at that. I don't see it right.
Bro, you're saying that, and you're taking the words out of my spirit. Because you see, like, I feel like I could come and entertain the TikTok, but I can't edit it. I can't do that. Like, it takes me forever, and it's still not cool. These kids, they do like, and it's like super cool, and you're like, holy shit, that's so dope. You know?
They know how to like film it. We don't know how to film it right. We don't film it like they know how to take the exact 7-second shot per. And I'm like, I don't even know how. Okay, I broke my selfie stick stand trying to use my selfie stick right. Like the fucking part that held my phone snapped, and I'm like, how did I fuck up my selfie stick?
Yeah, no, exactly, totally, no, but that's exactly it. They know the angles, they know what to do. Yeah, we're not there.
Yeah, but you're willing to do it, which makes you actually cool. Because there's a lot of people like, fuck the TikTok. I ain't even going to try that shit. I'm just willing to admit I'm terrible at it, and I need help.
Yeah, exactly. No, me too. And I post on TikTok, and sometimes I'm like, this is what y'all getting, yo. I'm sorry, like, this is it. Y'all are getting the video straight. It's 30 seconds straight. No editing, no none of that.
Relatable. I'm like, original audio. And they're all like,
exactly,
what's he doing with this original audio? It's not the default.
No, exactly. Oh, man. Totally.
I would normally delve into a whole lot of other shit, but I'm being cognizant of the time, and I think it's mad important that you bring up what you're doing later on tonight, because it sounds like as we're talking about for a quick second, if we just jump ahead to the present day, Tammy.
Yeah, exactly. Well, tonight it's super dope because I'm actually singing for La Fondation CHU Saint-Justine, which is a St. Justin's Hospital foundation. So it's super dope because we're giving back. I think it's amazing because they're allowing, and me with all my tattoos and all of this, and I be doing some crazy shit sometimes, but still, they're allowing us to help them to raise money for the kids, and it's like this is the future generations, right? And like one of my twins got operated twice at Saint Justine, so for me it's like such an honor to be able to share my voice and all of that. So it's amazing.
Yo, so what you're saying is, and I had a very similar experience with Make-A-Wish, is that charities don't care about the same things that we care about when we think about approaching charity type things, and maybe we should leverage this a bit more in our lives. That's a big time knowledge nugget for like top level scene branding. Everyone, go talk to some charities. Watch them all go, yo, throw our logos on your flyer, please. You're doing a concert?
Yeah.
I'm like, are you sure we can say fuck? They're like, say fuck all you want. Get money. And I'm like,
get money. Yeah, exactly. Like, let's go. Let her sing. Do what you want. it's definitely rated G.
Yeah,
But
this one was Saint Justine, whatever. But this one, like, were cool. It was Make a Wish. I was like, for real?
you're like, really? You're like, fuck this shit, fuck.
Well, we were gonna throw a show at a bar, and then it was like a year ago, almost today, and we had like booked it all up, and I'm like, "Are you sure?" And everyone said, "Yeah, just go do it." And I'm like, "Make a Wish is cool with it." Yeah, they're cool with it. I'm like,
You're like,
"Let's do it." And then the bar was free, the DJ was free, everything got free, and I'm like,
dope.
"Wow, that's a
Dope.
weird and interesting thing I wasn't expecting to happen." But yeah,
But I
no.
guess money by any means necessary, right? I mean, by any means necessary.
Cause
Straight up.
marketing is a multi-billion-dollar industry that companies leverage. So most of the big corporations are just kind of like okay with a lot more edgier things than we would be willing to know. But it is cool. You're
Back.
probably also way more brand friendly though, because you got that nice R&B singing. And it's pretty soulful music. I mean, you got some edge too. Don't get me wrong. I watched your music video.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, sometimes it's a little too much edge. I'm sort of slowly rebranding myself.
Away from the
slowly
edge.
To be a little bit more. Yeah, not so much edge, or you know what, edge, not so much vulgarity. That's my thing. And you know what's funny? It's my twins. It's because of my twin boys. I have twin boys, and in one of my videos, one of them was crying, and he was like, you're my mom. Like, you can't be naked on the internet. Like, you're my mom. Like, how could you say I'm gonna take your man? I'm gonna fuck your bitch. Like, how could you say that? You're my mom. And I was like,
yo, that's big parent things.
I was like, yeah. I was like, yeah, but it's just music. And he was so hurt by it that I was like, okay, you know what? Like, now that I'm a mom, I mean, I've been a mom since, I'm a teenager because I had my daughter really young. But, she's my rider because she's been through it all with me. But for my twins and my youngest, I have a 4-year-old, it's like, yeah, it's like, you know what? Okay, I got to take their feelings into consideration a bit more. Not to say that they run my life. That's not it. But I can understand the point of view of my son saying, how could my mom say that? Why is she half naked in her video? I can understand that. And I have to take it into consideration,
I respect that a lot. I have never had to face that, but maybe I will have to answer some questions one day. I'm okay with that though. I don't know what my approach will be, but now that I've talked to you, I'm going to spend the next rest of my life being prepared to answer these kinds of hard questions from a child.
Yeah. No, but it's true because we don't think about it. But it's like, now my twins are turning 9. They're on the internet. They're on YouTube. They have me on Spotify. Like, they're looking at these things. And it's like, they're so proud that their mom is a singer that they tell all their friends at school. Like, once my son told his teacher, oh, my mom's a singer. She's like, oh, yeah? Okay, we're going to put it on the screen thing. Oh, fuck. Man, bro, I got a call from the school. Like, and I was like, yo, what do you want me to say, man? I'm living my life. I'm an artist, If she put it on without double checking it, that's not my problem. But at the end of the day, it's like, these are the types of situations that arise, right? Which is not cool for my twins,
Yeah, I can appreciate that a lot. Also, I've never really listened to Sans Pression before. I know what the significance of that statement is now, but I didn't know who he was until I started doing this interview thing. And I started realizing that like the French side was really big, not like
huge.
So I listened to my first Sans Pression song today because on his latest project there's a feature of you on it. So that you got me. And that's cool though. Like that whole like is like. How did you link up with these, to in this modern era? Have you just been like riding with these people the whole time? I know you said like back in the day you were working with them, but it's still like to me a pretty big flex to be with debatably one of the biggest rappers in Quebec and to be on that album, and that's one hell of a flex. That's all. I just wanted to point that out.
Yeah, super, super dope. And it's funny because I was on his album. I'm on Impas's album. Who he's doing amazing things,
That's
so
je me comprends or something.
Yeah, je comprends. Yeah, look at you doing your homework. God damn.
You're
so yeah, on Impasse. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So I was on Impas's album. And it's funny, it's just because in the French side, I've done a lot of work. Like on the like, I'm known also on the English side of, a bit, because I've worked with Boy Blue, I work with a lot of people, and I'm very friendly and open, and I work with everyone. But in the French side, I really put in a lot of work. Even though I've always sang in English mostly, except recently I do French. But yeah, they see the grind. They see the grind. They see me everywhere because, like I said, I was at every show. And I've never rapped. It's always been a singer. So every time they need vocals or a hook, they be calling me, So I've been working with them, but now at least I'm getting the recognition for it. Because before they would just, take the voice, put it, and it's not featuring Tammy. It's not. It's just a voice.
Yeah, that's a big distinction because as an album reviewer, you always come across the, why is that one not featured? Who is that voice? And you're kind of left with a lot of, what happened here? And you never get good answers, and often people can't talk about what happened. I know in some cases it's like beat shops sell a finished thing with a chorus to people. That's one version of it. I don't know all the versions of it, but it's totally baffling when you come across, to me at least, without a clear and obvious sample. Like, at least if it's like a sample, it gets credited in some way, so like you're able to be like, that's a sample, so you can trace that vocal, or at least somebody on the internet will find that sample. When it's like an original vocal they stand up, I'm not like judging anything. I've just always found it fucking weird. Like, why not just put it in the liner notes or something,
Yeah, no, but exactly. But you know what it is? And, I hate when I have to say it, but I'm going to say it. There's a lot of sexism that goes on in our Montreal scene, whether it's English or French, and it's like, women, we are not given our fair respect. We are not given our proper credit, and it's just taken, it's just, in French we say c'est pris pour acquis, so it's just taken for granted that, okay, well, she's just a singer, man. Like, she ain't rapping like us, she ain't, well, man, that's just a chorus girl, But it's like, at the end of the day, your song needs a chorus, and you holler at singers to make it more appealing to your public. So at the end of the day, you should give me my fair due. You should give me my fair credit. And that happens a lot in the scene. A lot.
I had no idea how, to the extent, because I mean, okay, sometimes I have these blind spots because I discredit people. I'm just like, what's the law say? Oh, the law says that. Let me follow the law. That was my approach to crediting people. And even like to the point where I'm at like, yo, my beat maker is like half the song all the time because I don't do production. Why am I not even, like, he's half the song? What's going on here? Like, in my head, that's what, these are all recent epiphanies, though, so I can't cast judgment. I was a shithead for a long, long time.
Yeah.
But, like, but it made me realize credit's not really fairly given. And I didn't even know that was a thing, because I don't know, as I listen to songs, I don't always pay attention to who's and what's, but that's something I'm going to watch for, though. That's fascinating. I assume that a lot of this is less in the modern era where everything's digital and tracked.
Yeah, well, well, I mean, yes and no, because even with being in the modern era, they still don't necessarily give you your fair due. Like, for me, like, I had to like really implicitly say, like, you're gonna, I want, if you want my voice, no problem. But now it's like, it's featured Tammy Tuesdayz. It's not just my voice. Like, I'm not doing that no more. Like, that's been done. I ain't doing that been many, many years,
So I guess what you're saying is people just agree to it for XYZ reasons along the way. Opportunity, this, that, the next thing. It's the same. Yeah. Anyway, I don't want to go too far down that rabbit hole because there's too many things I'm aware of. But like, no, that's really good to know. And it's important to me, like, that some level of credit should be given. And I think everyone should hear that and go, yo, my name should appear somewhere. Or at least in the credits. Like, at least
in the credits. And like, and I mean, if you're doing a chorus, it should be featured, because you are like almost like, 45% of the song. You have the chorus in the beginning, in the middle, and the after. Like, come on. Like,
I know there's like been given to me a 2-3 artistic reason why people don't feature it. Like Kendrick Lamar did it one time or whatever, and I'm like, okay, fine. But I don't really think that's what we're talking about here. So just so anyone wants to play that, but like there might be a reason for it. Like, maybe.
Yeah.
And I don't know all the good reasons why you wouldn't actually feature somebody in the chorus like that. But to me, it's like, yo, that makes just total sense. Yo, chorus is like shit, man. Every time I put a girl in a chorus, it's like that song does better. It's not even like
Yeah.
it's hard facts. Every time I've done that, that song has done better.
Yeah, because it's more appealing to the general mass, right? You know, so it's not to say that rap alone or, you know, music alone doesn't appeal, but it's just that, I don't know, it brings a je ne sais quoi, you know what I'm saying? So
It's all about singing along. Let's be real.
yeah,
People
exactly.
want to sing
We all
along
love
though.
sing-alongs,
That's
like
what
Lamb
it
Chop.
is. So like it was made very clear to me early on that if all I do is rap, no one's gonna sing that shit. I might do that because I'm into that shit, but like
Yeah,
you need, and that's why slow rap tends to do better in a lot of pop markets than fast rap because
facts.
you want to sing along to that shit. Like Easy E shit is not at a tempo that is so quick. Everybody knows Easy E shit. Like it just sticks in your head. Ice Cube shit from like all of that stuff. Like fuck the police coming straight from. Anybody can do that shit. You know, like so it's super nifty that you bring that up. But yeah, the hook is also like catchy, and
Yeah,
I don't know if you can sing, you're getting catchiness. Yeah, because you can sing,
yeah, catchy.
like it's good. It's not like, and
Yeah,
let's be real, most of the rappers can't sing.
facts.
Well, nowadays it's different. Nowadays it's like,
Well, with auto-tune, I mean, they could hold
nah,
the note and
they
auto-tune could do the
sing.
rest.
I hear a lot of these 20-year-olds, nah, like because they do their behind the
Facts.
scenes, and if you really watch them on Insta, like I'm not saying they're like amazing, no, but they're probably better than me, and I've been putting in hella work for years now, and it still isn't great. So like these kids, because they grew up, what I'm learning is that all the 20-year-olds today were on 2010. Back then, they were on YouTube and they were listening to everything that you could fucking imagine because it all became available to them. So we just
Facts.
assumed that they treated music like
Super
we
facts.
do, and they didn't. And now they're proving me
Facts.
wrong. Their marketing's better. I'm just like, yo, these youth, they are not needing me. They like,
No, it's true. The internet changed the whole game. Like honestly, in a good way. You know, I think it's a good thing. Definitely a good thing. But I don't know. I don't know. I miss the essence of the music, you know, that where I fell in love with like R&B and hip hop. I miss those Biggie and Total vibes. I miss the Little Kim vibes. You know, like I feel that we have it now a little bit, but not really. It's not the same. I don't know. But maybe it's because that was me when I was like a teenager and I fell in love with it. Because I'm sure some people are gonna say that about Cardi B when they're mothers, you know?
I like Cardi B's delivery. I don't care what anyone says. Everybody hating on Cardi B can't spit like Cardi B can spit. They might write better.
She's good.
Yo, her delivery is flawless, like impeccable.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I hear you.
Yeah.
WAP
Yeah.
is Troy's music in the futures, and there are kids gonna be growing up listening to that.
Which is crazy to me, but you know what? It's true. It's gonna be Troy's music.
You'll be like, wet ass pussy, and follow by up. I'm gonna be like, but it's hype. Like I'm not gonna lie, she plays this shit, and I listen to it, and she does her thing, and I'm like, yeah, it's kind of hype.
I love
it. It's a good tempo for this shit.
Yeah,
But nah,
definitely.
like R&B's on a big comeback though. Like Joe Budden
Yeah.
is like on a one-man mission to revive the genre in the pop sphere, and it's like. No, but like even here, like I imagine like with the auto tune era, if anything, it's gonna bring back R&B in full force because people are gonna want that like raw singing essence again. And like it's been a minute.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna like pretend like I'm mad excited to watch the R&B side of the takeover. I love the genre in like a respect it kind of way. I've never really been moved by it in that kind of way. I like your blend on it because you do that more like hip hop styled oriented shit.
Yeah.
I fucks with it because I can relate more to that energy. But yo, I think pure R&B is gonna slam back in like power vocals and everything.
Yeah, I feel it too. I don't know. Like I feel like slowly but surely it's creeping up. Slowly but surely it's coming back. It's coming back in style. But you know, trends, that's what happens, right? Like everything comes back. It's always like a full circle, you know? Things, you know, it gets boring and then it comes back and then you know? So that's music.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of how I see it. I feel like it's going to just come in, but also like there's a lot more opportunity for every lane to exist in a way that never existed before. So I think people are also craving vacancies. And so a lot of yo, like for a long time, nobody's gonna make the shit if nobody's getting signed. Now it's like make what the fuck you want. You really just need 1,000 motherfuckers to sub to your shit.
Straight up, straight up. And that's what the beauty I feel personally about the music scene right now. And like, if let's say we reference us here in Quebec, right? It's like before you absolutely needed to be signed to like the top 2 labels and distribution companies, because if not, you had no chance. But now it's like, man, with internet, you could go to your homeboy studio. You know what I'm saying? You can make your own music. You could drop it on your own Instagram, your YouTube, your Facebook, do your own little marketing. You don't need nobody. Because that's the beauty of the internet.
Yo, like we're literally shooting fucking music videos with our galaxies. Like I'm not even playing.
Bro. Like,
we got a gimbal though. I learned what a gimbal was. You need a gimbal if you're doing this game because you do not have a steady hand. Nobody has a steady hand.
Like a steady,
stick thing. So we had the gimbal and that was important. But like, yo, we just do that. And then I don't edit it. I'm not an editor. I don't like it. I can do bad editing. But you end up like learning how to shoot shit better. And that's the thing is like, yo, you just like, even that, like, you remember how expensive it was to shoot a music video and all that shit back in the day? We're talking like a lot. And now it's like, you can cut out most of the costs. I would still pay for an editor, everyone. Dude, I cannot stress enough how important. It's just like you should pay for an engineer. You really don't need to pay hours in recording. A good engineer can take your in-your-room recording and make it sound blessed, you know?
Facts. Facts. Super facts. But that's the beauty of it too. And it's like, you know, to me, I feel that it makes art accessible and it makes it diversified, you know, because you do not need to fit in a mold because you're not trying to be signed by this label or this distribution company. You could just do what the fuck you feel compelled to do. And at the end of the day, you put it out. You could, like you said, you buy a gamble, you know, you do your thing with your phone, you pay an editor, you make your song and you drop it. Like, that's the beauty of it. It's fucking beautiful.
And you can control your release schedule. So
facts.
With these kids, yo, I talked to a 17-year-old and he had recorded 185 songs.
Oh my God.
And he does all the mixing himself. He's 17. What else is he doing? He's in COVID times. What else is he doing for the last year? And I said, oh, we were very wrong about the work ethic of the youth. And that became like a very big like, oh, I gotta just start releasing it all and recording 3 times as much and whatever. Who cares if it sounds good? Because the kids don't. And I mean that like on an engineering front.
Yo, and you know what? It's funny you say that, and I have to tap in on that because, you know, sometimes we feel like we absolutely have to go to the studio that charges $150 an hour because you want to have the best sound, the best crisp sound. But it's like, no, you can even record shit on your phone, guy. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, you just send and get it edited. And it's like, you could drop it. Like, people are not necessarily, and I feel that now people are not looking for perfection. They're looking for authenticity.
I couldn't have said it better. That's actually, I'm going to steal that. I'm stealing that phrasing. That's so good.
Steal it.
No, but like, I realized that a little bit ago. Think about it. There's an AI company in Montreal called Lander that does auto mastering for a reasonable price. Like, I'm sorry, but like, if you need a bootleg, you do not need an engineer. You throw that file in fucking Lander and throw that on the internet. And honestly, for your ROI, I promise.
Yeah.
Every engineer is going to hate me. I promise your fucking ROI is not going to see a difference. Nobody's going to tell the difference. None of your fans are going to know. It's just going to be your artist peers. And that's who we ask for criticism. We never really ask fans.
Yeah, facts. Super facts. No, exactly.
Meticulous fucking popped in as they said that. That's hilarious.
Medic. Yo, you know, Medic produced my song Fet. He recorded my whole EP, my last EP.
Well done, Meticulous. Beautiful sound.
Yeah. Yo, it was super dope. You know, like I went to Japan to film the video. It was like crazy. It was craziness, man.
I was like, that was a hella good flex. I was sitting there watching that, and I'm like, yo, I've seen 2 Montrealers in Japan now. That's it. It's you and LT's because he got sent over there for some next shit. And I'm like, yo, that's flex. I'm not saying other people haven't done it, but I'm saying
Yeah.
that.
No, it was a big flex. And I only went for 24 hours. That's the crazy thing. We left here. Yeah, we left here. Me and my manager, we took 4 other people. So we were 6. There was the videographer, his assistant, my hairstylist, and my makeup artist, me and my manager. So basically we were 6 people. We left here Friday at 5 p.m. Bro, Sunday at 3, we were already back. And it's a 13-hour flight. Flex. 24 hours. We got to Japan. Yo, boom,
Yo,
hair,
but the video
makeup.
looks good. Y'all don't understand. Yeah. They got Japanese people dancing and shit in the background of parts of it.
Guy. Yo, straight up. It was crazy.
Yo, Tammy, I see why you're sitting there going, word on the street is on the next big thing. Okay, I see the moves he was making to make word on the street make you the next big thing. No, yeah, bro, but like, even with that, like, you were also, like, just because we got a few minutes left, so I don't want to cut you off, but you also did, like, the podcast thing or the video series. Like, how did that come to be? Like,
are you talking like Hot Politique?
I don't know what it was called. I know you would show up and you would spit hot bars at the next lady on my Facebook timeline for a quick minute, and I watched that for a while.
Oh yeah, you're like, I called them my Tammy Tuesdayz. That's how I got my name, actually. Because basically, you know, I only used to go by Tammy or Tammy T because my name is Tammy Terrell, and I started dropping a video every Tuesday, just in my bathroom, just singing in my phone a minute, you know. Just dropping it every Tuesday. And then people would recognize me in the street and be like, yo, you're that Tuesday girl, right? The Tammy Tuesday girl, right? And I was like, yeah. And then the name just stuck. I did that for like 2 years, bro. Once a week, guy. That's heavy still. Yo, that's fucking heavy, man.
I really enjoyed it. I was into that. I know there was a couple of them that really were like, yo, Tammy's pushing it. But it wasn't ever bad. It was like, I'm saying the shit that you think, but do not have the courage to vocalize. I speak for you.
Oh, yeah. Okay, no, those are my, I'm not a pastor, but y'all gonna get the word today video.
That shit, oh my gosh, oh my word. I watched like that shit religiously. I was like...
Yeah, I'm starting them back maybe in like a week or 2 because everybody's been asking me, girl, come on, like, you know, it's like addictive. And it's just me just basically, like you said, verbalizing what a lot of people are either thinking or feeling. And I think it's important. I think it's so important because we're so superficial. We're out here, you know, going through a whole bunch of shit. And it's like everybody wants to fucking flex like as if, you know, they ain't got shit going on in their life. They're out here suffering in silence. And it's like, yo, it's okay to be down and, you know, re-up. Yeah, and it's like, it's okay also if you acted like an ass to right your wrongs. And it's okay to be played and you know what I'm saying? Like, you're going through shit. Like, it's okay. You know, we all go through it. So I just feel like I don't give a shit. I talk about anything. Like, I'm not sensitive like that. So, you know, I love talking about things because even when people criticize me, I'm like, okay, I don't care. My bills are still paid. I don't care.
You're hilarious, for real. Which video were you in Japan? Was it the Fete? Yeah, it was Fete.
Fete. Yeah, Fete.
I'm just going to link that because we got somebody asking for it on the Twitch, for real.
No, yeah, Fete.
Yeah, y'all should go like subscribe and follow. It like just popped up her Instagram and the little thing. Make sure you go show some love. We only have you for like 2 more minutes, so I guess we can get to the part where we just wrap up right quick. Thank you for being here, though. It was real lovely. I definitely would love to get you back in when you have time. We can like fucking go in for a while. I'm sure we could fill up a fucking
totally. And I love talking, and you love talking, and we're both cool. Let's do this.
I'm down. We'll set it up. I've definitely got like, I try to book it out a couple months, but trust, we'll find time. This is definitely gotta go further. Everyone's now showing up, and I'm like, we gotta end it. But that's kind of how it goes sometimes. So y'all can definitely catch this on the YouTubes and stuff later. Thank y'all who did come through. Appreciate everybody that did. All of y'all that did. It's amazing for the live every single time. Like, just to see the chat moving and stuff. Like, it's mad encouraging. It makes it more of a show, you know. It's less of just like people talking. And then everybody on YouTube after, make sure that you follow that, etc. Special thanks to the patrons, is Milk Nancy, Chris Pratt, Jonathan Barnes, DJ Black, Hurricane, Linda Williams, Scribble, etc. You're all dope. We don't have a lot of time left, so I'm just trying to end it real quick. But yo, live long and prosper, everyone. I know that you have to go. I'm not going to end the stream quite right yet. We're going to figure out who we raid, but just because I know you got like a super hard stop, again, thank you so much for coming through.
Thank you for having me. It was a pleasure, and I cannot wait to do this again, man. Straight up, you're amazing.
I appreciate that. Don't worry, we'll get it in. We'll find time.